In this video, we'll dive into the top 10 benefits of living frugally and how it can lead to early retirement, the opportunity to pursue your passions, financial contentment, and so much more. Are you ready to break free from financial stress and take control of your financial stress and take control of your finances? Let's get started. 10. Liberty to pursue passion. Let me go straight to the point and tell you living frugally opens the door for you to pursue your dream. This might catch you off guard, seeing that people already agree that spending little equals no enjoyment and fun. But here's the thing, seeing how our financial condition improves with each frugal option we make and how we move further away from a salary earning job, we tend to have more freedom to pursue what matters to us the most. Come to think of it, have you ever pictured how many people hate their jobs? Have you ever wondered why people prefer to work for a firm or a manager they don't trust? In most cases, the fear of losing out on their salary weighs heavily on their mind, so they don't mind the agony they are suffering at work. Frugality is the best way to get out of a situation like that. You will become less dependent on that salary if you learn to live on less. You'll also get to save more, and most importantly, you have time to focus on other areas of interest. 9. Early retirement. I'm sure you have tried doing a calculation of what your retirement expenses might be. Have you also thought about how much money you will need to accumulate to support yourself and leave to the kids in retirement? The thing is, if you're a thrifty person, you might not need to save as much for retirement. If you can comfortably live on $4,000 per month, you will need $48,000 per year in retirement to maintain your standard of living. Therefore, if you have $1 million in retirement investments and they earn $5 annually, you might live off the interest alone. On the other hand, suppose you lead a less frugal lifestyle and require $150,000 annually to support yourself in retirement. You would need $3 million in retirement savings at that same 5 interest rate. The best part is that if you lead a frugal lifestyle before retiring and make it a point to pay off debt, stick to a budget, save money, and invest it, not only will your retirement costs be very low, but your investments will be substantial as well. So you see, you now have the option to live your dream in retirement. 8. Financial contentment. Before we get to that, I would like to introduce the sponsor of this video, the Frugal Living Handbook. Our comprehensive ebook covers everything you need to know about living a frugal and rewarding life, including creating a budget, identifying areas for cost, cutting, and much more. Order our ebook via the first link in the video description and start your journey towards financial stability and security. Now let's get back into the video. Financial happiness is, in my opinion, one of the finest benefits of living cheaply. As you already know, being frugal means learning to make do with less, taking steps to better your financial mess, and putting a stop to measuring yourself with others. Spending what you can afford eventually teaches you not to feel bad about driving a fairly used vehicle that is 5 years old, even when your neighbor gets a brand new car. You don't even feel bad about your tiny 2-bedroom fixer-upper when you visit someone else's larger and more attractive home. That envy that appears from nowhere when you see a person who is wealthier than you is virtually eliminated when you accept your financial capacity and learn to live within your means. I should also point out that as you live frugally, you will become aware of how frequently other individuals spend beyond their means. In all seriousness, just because someone drives a luxurious car more than you doesn't mean they make more money. In many instances, it could be that the individual is probably heavily indebted. Some of them are living a fake life sponsored by borrowed money. The good news for you is that you're operating within your own means and can call the shots on your financial situation anytime. 7. More money for saving and investing. Even though this is perhaps the most obvious advantage of living frugally, it is nevertheless important to mention. Adopting a frugal lifestyle will provide you with more money for investing and saving. It's a fairly straightforward idea. The less money you spend, the more of it you keep. Through your actions, you've basically answered the question of savings, more investments, and a better financial status. 6. Reduces stress. Now, if you were to put a survey out there and ask the people what the #1 source of their stress is, they'll tell you it's money. This shouldn't come as a surprise, seeing how cash is the answer to every one of our problems, so the absence of it causes a lot of terrible things, one of them being stress. Well, at this point, I bet you know what the solution to that is. Yes, being frugal is an excellent way to deal with stress. What I want you to know is you don't necessarily need to put yourself through stress to make money. If you concentrate on frugal investments that bring in a steady flow of income, there's no way stress will come your way. 5. Frugal living improves social relationship. We'll get to that in a second. I have a favor to ask of you. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to the channel. Sharing is one of the most effective methods to save money. You can share anything from food items, babysitting, to opinions. There's no exception to what you can share as long as it's not something that will cost you in the long run. You can share your gardening tools with your neighbors. They can borrow your shovel, and you can borrow their rake a few weeks later. What is the purpose of all of these, you may ask? Well, you're basically building relationships and minimizing expenses by getting help from your neighbors, friends, and members of the community. So instead of buying or paying for a service, you can easily reach out to your neighbors for help. 4. Frugality gives a sense of higher purpose. The first appeal of frugality for many people is that it offers a workable plan for reaching short-term financial objectives. When money is tight, you need to find creative ways to reduce your spending so you can cover your expenses. It's natural to consider how those steps could be used to achieve broader goals as you see those stages working and you begin to make being thrifty a habit. What about clearing every debt you have? How about having an actual emergency fund? Starting to save more aggressively for retirement? A down payment on a home? You can use frugality as a technique to begin making progress on those significant life-changing tasks. Your daily decisions take on a far deeper meaning when you start to connect small acts of frugality, like borrowing a book from the library rather than buying it online, with your long-term objectives. 3. Generosity. One major distinction between being thrifty and being cheap is that thrifty people are usually kind. A cheap person is prepared to compromise their financial well-being in order to better themselves. A thrifty person, on the other hand, is prepared to reduce their personal spending while continuing to live within their means. You'll find that you will be able to contribute to virtually anything when you begin to prioritize frugality in your own life. Here's something I want you to think about. If you are struggling to make ends meet, how much will you truly be able to help? Hardly much at all, right? Meanwhile, it is much simpler to use your money to support individuals in your community who are in need when you have control over your spending. 2. High tolerance risk. When it comes to investment, the fact is the bigger risk has a higher potential reward. So what I'm saying is living within your means and leading a modest lifestyle automatically improves your capacity for accepting risk. I want you to look at it this way. Your financial life doesn't have much room for error if you are living beyond your means, paying off a lot of debt each month, and having little saved up. So in retrospect, it wouldn't be a good idea to invest in anything where there is a chance of losing money. Your best choice would be a savings account, if anything. And here's another thing, you have nothing stopping you from making some higher risk investments if you live modestly, debt-free, and within your means. Now, I'm not promoting a risky, aggressive approach to investing. All I'm saying is that you could invest your money in a mutual fund which has the potential to earn you 9 to 12 yearly, rather than placing it all in a savings account that pays one interest annually. When your expenses are modest and you are not in a financial bin, you could do more with your earnings. 1. You can eventually afford quality. It's not always necessary to purchase the cheapest items to live frugally. I mean, everyone deserves the best thing in life. The fact you're trying to play safe doesn't mean you can't look super fly. But in order to get what you want, it is more important to decide to spend as little money as possible on the things that do not matter to you. There are certain things that undoubtedly take priority. I'm talking about those important investments that will be around for a while, and being frugal with your spending will open the door for those things to come in. This means that even though you have spent money on the cheapest phone, clothes, and kitchenware, you are still able to buy a stunning set of golf clubs that you will treasure for many years to come because you've saved a lot over the years. What I'm simply saying is to spend your money on whatever it is that matters the most to you. This is, of course, as long as you make up for it by spending as little as possible in other areas. Bonus. We decided to add a bonus point as it might be one of the most important, especially if you're a parent. Setting good examples for the kids. The little ones pick up on everything around them. especially the habits of grown-ups in their midst. Your kids will definitely imitate your frugal lifestyle because they look up to you, and that is definitely a good thing. When they see the decisions you make to improve your financial situation, it will come in handy for them, as they are not just learning more about money. They're also learning other important life lessons like generosity. Now, despite the fact that they would moan that they don't always receive what they want like some of their peers, you are giving them a more potent gift: financial literacy. Future generations of your family will benefit greatly from your efforts to raise thrifty, financially responsible children. Every advantage of frugal living that you know will be passed down from one generation to another, ensuring that your children will be resourceful with their money and will urge their own children to do the same. Now that you've agreed with me that frugality comes with some benefits, which one seems to catch your attention? Is it the generosity aspect or financial contentment? I'll leave it for you to decide.